Well, ladies. Now, we have the bird view for an absolutely traditional and wonderful track in the world, the Indianapolis Raceway in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we can see it from above here. And here we can see the host team of today, RRG Esports, driving around the track. And yeah, the spotter guide of today, it's Lasse Sørensen back in the game with a few new faces, Elliot Weyman, Jasmine Preisig from the Swiss. Yeah, Richard Goether back in the game, Thomas Schmid.
Also back in the game, Risto Kappet.
Yes, Risto Kappet from last season.
And here we are.
And here's our championship leader, Walter. Then we have Danish Dynamite. Zebrellen is also in the super final, as well as Vero 88.
And Vero 8 is the car of the hosting team this night here at the Indianapolis Raceway.
And this, of course.
Yes, and we're going to have Risto Kappet and Timea for the art cars from the ACER Vero 8 team, and we're really looking forward to the Indy Prix here at the Indianapolis Raceway in Indianapolis in America, the quad oval, which you're going to see here. Hello, Louisa.
Hello, Martin.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, oval racing in World EX, always thrilling, always fun. I think let's have a look on the track and its difficulties. Romain Grosjean, the Phoenix, will take us around.
All right, here we go. On the pit lane. Pit limiter exit. That pit exit is actually quite tricky. You're not allowed to go more than 4 wheels, 2 wheels above that line onto that corner. Same one. That one is quite tricky, and you want to rejoin the track as fast as you can. So here we go onto the track. So turn 3 is quite impressive. It's definitely not one of the first one you're going to take flat out. So you would lift a little bit. There's a lot of understeer on that car. Turn 4 is the first one you're going to do flat. So here we go. Flat out into turn 4. Then you go here down the straight, and turn 1 is crazy. Turn 1, it looks like it's super narrow just because of the grandstands. There's a couple of bumps right here on entry. Unstabilize the car. And then in between, you see on the right, the opening between the grandstands, that's cool. That brings a lot of wind into that corner. That's where I crashed in the Indy 500, just because that grandstand opening just opened enough wind for the car to be in a difficult position. So here we go. In qualifying, that's where you would switch to your very, very fast map. Turn 3, you want to stay flat to turn 3. That's a must to get a good lap time. Well, in qualifying, it's a must to stay flat out everywhere to get a good lap time. But definitively turn 1 and 3 are the tough ones, and the exit of 2 and 4 also quite tricky. So here you go into qualifying, doing 230 plus miles an hour on your own, going to turn 1, get those couple of bumps right into the corner. Here we go, short shootout. Make sure you enter quite early in turn 2. You've seen the curb comes really late, so you want to be there on the apex, and then you slide flat down the straight. You hope that tailwind is pushing you so you don't lose time, and you get to turn 3, and same thing, you want to find a perfect turning point so you don't put too much steering input. Exit right here, and then turn 4, same thing. Enter quite early in turn 4. Make sure you kiss the apex, open the steering wheel on exit, not to lose the time, and down the straight you go. And try, to just let the car go as much as you can, and that's a lap around Indy 500. It looks like it's a fairly simple circuit, But let me tell you one thing. In qualifying, when the car is trim and you go flat out, you're on your own, 4 laps average. So it's not about being the fastest in the first lap. It's about being the fastest for the 4 laps. It is quite something. And then in race, playing with traffic and momentum and slipstream, it's pretty cool. So you're going to enjoy watching the World EX in Indy 500 or at the Indianapolis racetrack. It's just going to be a great race, and it's going to be the one that plays the best with the slipstream that's going to win the race.
It was an incredible qualifying, and like Romain just said before, it is an incredible racetrack, and it's absolutely amazing to see these cars following in a slipstream with sometimes 6 cars, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
6 cars like a train racing over this track, and the speed is enormous, absolutely. And I'm really looking forward to the first quarterfinal later on, and I'm really looking forward to the race today because it will be a very fast one. The fastest times in the qualifying was Devin Brown with a 39.691, Risto Capet in second, Jiri Toman in third, Chris Overend in fourth, fifth position for Martin Stefanko, Elliot de Véron from France in sixth, Thomas Schmid from Switzerland in seventh, Rasmus Brooks from Denmark, and Lasse Sørensen from Denmark in 8 and 9. And Alan Terzic, the 10th one, was the first one who was slower than 39 seconds. Incredible qualifying. I'm really looking forward to the times of the race now.
Yeah, stunning, breathtaking.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So today's host team is RIG Esports, as their team principal is a current IndyCar driver. So the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, of course, famous for the Indy 500 races. We heard him before. Here is Romain Grosjean about his team and its vision.
I think esport racing is definitely in a really good place right now. It's growing, and there's more and more championship coming in. There's more and more constructor coming in. So I'm quite excited with the way it goes. After the pandemic, we had a bit of a time down, but now it's just coming back up. Every team is going more professional. Every team is getting better. Every constructor is getting involved. There's more and more professional championship coming on. World EX is one. Le Mans Virtual is another one. F1 Esport, obviously. The other big games on Gran Turismo that we had for the last edition in Tokyo. So pretty excited with all of that. The team is doing really good. We've managed to secure some very good driver. We've been competing at the highest level on a lot of platform. So I'm very happy with all the progress for RIG Esports. I think our guys are doing very good in the World EX as well. They've been very competitive. They're up there at the front always, so that's really cool to see. ACER is our biggest partner since the beginning of the foundation of the team through Predator. They've been here for us since the beginning. They've been giving us the top technology in terms of computer, in terms of support, everything we need. We've got it, so we don't have any excuse on the material side. We've got everything that we need to have to go fast, and that's exactly what you want from a partner like ACER. Because of the busy season, the move, and everything going on, I haven't got much time to do sim racing, but hopefully I'll be back behind the wheel very soon. Oval racing is very different. It's just like mountain biking and road biking, right? It is the same difference that you can find in both of those. So oval is very different, but I enjoy it a lot. At the beginning I was a bit skeptical, but no, I just absolutely love it. Well, the fan can expect for the World EX Indy R8G ACER Vero Grand Prix a hell of a show. It is an amazing racetrack, that Indianapolis 500 racetrack. There's so much going on in the race. It's all, it's not so much about your driving. It's more about what you're thinking and your car balance and how you can use it to make sure that you make the move at the right place. You don't want to necessarily lead the field. You want to be the one taking the slipstream for the end of the lap and getting it done. So it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to watch it.
A 20-minute qualifying determines the starting grid for the 2 quarterfinals, one for the pro racing drivers, one for the esports racers. The best 5 drivers from each group proceed to the semi-final before the final 2-lap head-to-head shootout for the best pro racing driver and the best esports racer. All cars reaching at least one final will qualify for the Super Final at the Nürburgring Nordschleife on December the 13th.
Well, Louisa, just taking a look on the eyes of Romain Grosjean, you really can see his fire in his
Yeah,
eyes,
it's
just
always
racing,
great.
racing. But we we heard it so far, the voice, and I guess the whole evening we're waiting of two voices, one from Great Britain, one from Germany. I guess we're going to wait for Dave Richardson and
Mike Rockenfeller, of course.
guys, it's your turn.
A very good evening to you, Mike, looking resplendent as always, and Louisa and Martin doing a fine job hosting this excellent program, Indianapolis. And as Romain Grosjean has said, Mike, when it comes to an oval like this, it's not about being the quickest necessarily on the first lap. It's about using that slipstream, isn't it?
Clearly, definitely in our race format and our, let's say, way of the way the car drives. I think we have seen that already, last year, and I'm sure everybody's ready. They know what to expect, and I can't wait to see this, nose to tail racing tonight.
Yeah, going to be very exciting indeed, and some brilliant drivers lined up for this as we reach the sharp end of our championship. And here we can see then, and I'm delighted to welcome Jasmin Preissig, a driver that I was talking about some years ago. But this is the grid that we can see in quarterfinal 1. Then Chris Overend going from P1, Elliot Veyron going from P2. Then we find Lasse Sorensen, always a danger man, Beitske Visser, always a danger lady, Nicholas Hillebrand and Rafael Lobato, along with Henry Drury and Jasmin Preissig. And got to say a big well done to Henry Drury, PT Autosport driver, shootout the inaugural star. Well done, Henry. What a lineup we have for our first quarterfinal to go then on this Indianapolis. What a legendary circuit. What a sight that is, as we can see then inside the cockpit of these wonderful cars. And we are but 20 seconds away from the start of this quarterfinal. And it's now that the butterflies begin going in the tummy, isn't it, Mike?
Oh, yeah, it is. Especially here, I think, for Chris Overend. What a lap. I mean, to start on pole, I'm sure he's super nervous. Great performance. Preissig, first time. So it's I can't wait. And like I said, nothing is over yet. It's a 7-lap race. Let's see what the start gives us.
Here we go then. So, drivers already making contact just with the pit lane wall then, as you can see. All these cars getting up to speed. Into turn number 1 they go, then kicking up at just a little bit of dust as they take a look at the grass on the inside as we go on board as well, just to experience the phenomenal speed with these wonderful cars. Lasse Sorensen already up into P2. Keep your eyes on Veyron as well, running in P3. Let's go on board now with Lasse Sorensen then, using that slipstream to his advantage. Going into the next turn then, where is Lasse going to make his move? Henry Drury trying to go around the outside, and there is problems. And big stride for Lasse Sorensen, just as I was bigging him up. He bigs it up against the concrete, which doesn't forgive, Mike.
No, I mean, that was super tight, I think, between him and Drury. But like we said, I mean, going that speed alone is one thing, but being in a pack, every little mistake really hurts, and people have to be so careful and disciplined. I hope we see that tonight. I hope we see this discipline. And you see how much in the mirror, I mean, see all these cars lining up between, next to Lasse, right, left. I mean, it's crazy. You have to be so careful. I'm sure they all enjoy it and they love it.
Oh, Nicholas Hillebrand, what a move that was through the inside of Lasse Sorensen. Then Lasse Sorensen relegated to P4. It is Overend that he's leading at the moment. Henry Drury, though, is right on his gearbox as Henry Drury takes a look going into this turn. It's all about who dares wins, I guess, but also, as Mike has said, you've got to have maximum respect for each other as drivers as well, because it is so quick here, and this is absolutely brilliant. Henry Drury, it looks like he's just biding his time as he dives to the inside of Overend now. This is Henry Drury, we can see him there, and he has got this P1 position now. Lasse Sorensen is relegated to P4, Nicholas Hillebrand P3, but Overend is going to fight back here as well. So Henry Drury and Overend, what a phenomenal battle as all these 8 cars are virtually welded together. Brilliant stuff, Mike.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, the 7 cars are just, on everybody can win. Preissig, there's a gap, but even she has still a chance. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a big, big crash, a big incident, and she can profit from that. But clearly, you can't say who's winning this race, and you can't even say who's out. P6 Speitzgewisse right now. She's still, full in the game. I mean, look, now she went to P5. Overhand in the lead. Oh, it's great. It's so great.
I am absolutely loving this, as we can see bump draft being used to full effect, could we not? My goodness me, Sorensen and Hillebrand are having a real ding-dong battle over this P3 place.
There we
On
see
board
him.
then. Yes, driving like demons, each and every one of these drivers, and I have to say, Mike, so clean and tidy as well. Over and then regaining that P1 place over Henry Drury, but this is not over yet. We're on lap 5 of 7 then around this Indianapolis Speedway then, and Lasse Sorensen dives through his luck, threading through a knitting needle. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Oh, staying on board there with Henry Drury, that was a sight to behold. And look at this battle that's going on between Overend and Sorensen right at the top. And Overend and Speitzgewisse now taking P1. As you said, Mike, you predicted it could still go any way. Lap 6 of 7.
I mean, wasn't Drury just leading half a lap ago, and now he's in P4? So it's crazy. I mean, it's hard to capture all this, because there's so many cars changing positions lap by lap, 2, 3, 4 times. It's crazy. I mean, I would love... Whoa!
You don't want to be on the grass. So Overend currently P1, Henry Drury P2, Speitzgewisse, a brilliant showing from Speitzke in P3. And we are about to start the final lap, I believe. There has been so much going on, and there are cars going absolutely everywhere. It is still within sight of maybe 5 or 6 of these drivers to take victory here at the Indianapolis Speedway. Brilliant stuff. How cool does Speitzgewisse look? How cool do Martin and Louisa look as well? Absolutely loving this. And Henry Drury on the outside now, bit of sideways. Now, where's it going to go? We're on the last lap now. It's now or never for all of these drivers. Henry Drury trying to take it around the outside of Overend. Then here is Overend as he heads towards the line. Absolutely brilliant stuff from these drivers. Almost going to be a photo finish surely as they run to the line.
Oh my God.
Absolutely superb racing. Well done to all of you.
Oh my
Overend
God.
from Drury,
Right
from
suspension
Vosse,
damage is
from
not the damage to
Veyron.
have around here.
Wow.
Lasse, I'm not sure if I moved over too late and sort of pushed you sideways on the front straight on one of those laps. I couldn't tell if I was in front or there was a few inches of splitter, but
I think it was fine.
it's so
Sorry
hard
for
to
the
tell.
comeback there as well.
It's so hard to tell distance in these cars when you're going that fast.
Yeah.
It's so much fun though.
I'm actually shaking.
Yeah, I'm shaking.
Chris
Well
Overend,
done,
I
Chris.
hope you
Bloody
can
hell.
hear us
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
in comms here. Chris Overend, I just want to take my hat off to you, because you and all the other drivers drove a spectacle for us. If it was half as good as for you to drive it as it was for us to talk about it. Brilliant stuff, Chris. What was that like to try and drive it, friend?
Terrifying, to be perfectly honest. No, that was amazing. I mean, just looking in my rearview mirror and just seeing these cars just flying up towards me was just incredible. And how we all kept it together. Real credit to everyone's driving. Yeah, great race,
I
everyone.
agree
Thank
with
you.
I have to say, respect to all of you drivers. Chris, of course, driving for the esports team WRT, and you drove a demon, friend. You really, really did, and as did all the drivers. And at any point in any of those laps, Chris, it could have gone to one of 5, 6, 7 drivers. You just have to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mike was saying at the beginning, you've got to be able to, you've almost got to be able to forecast where you want to be on the last lap, Chris. Is that true?
Absolutely. I mean, I was just... Well, I knew if I was out front that my tyres wouldn't deg as hard as if I was following, because I knew when we were practicing that your tyres would degrade much quicker when you're following. So I thought, if I can stay out ahead as much as possible and then just pray that I'm going to be in a good position for the last corner. And honestly, I wasn't expecting to get that. I was expecting everyone to swamp me. So, yeah, I'm well chuffed with that.
Divine intervention played its part. Many congratulations to you, Chris Overend.
Thanks very much.
Absolutely brilliant. Here's confirmation of the quarterfinal result then. Chris Overend, Henry Drury, P1, P2. Great drive from Beitske Visser for BS Plus competition, and Elliot Veyron taking a very creditable P4 for the ACER VERO R8G team. Nicholas Hillebrand for Biela Racing Team Euronics is the final driver to complete the top 5, ahead of Lasse Sorensen, Rafael Lopato, and Yasmin Preissig. Wow, what a race, Mike.
What a race, and what a surprise. I mean, Lasse, he was up there, and he had a few little incidents. He couldn't, maybe not his fault, but he didn't make it. He has been so strong here last year. But as we saw, everybody, anything can happen. Great racing, super happy for Chris. Like he said, he was leading. He was on pole. He really deserved that victory. Great driving by everybody.
Okay, let's go back to the studio then, and Martin and Louisa, who I should think have now sat down. They were standing up, enjoying the action so much because, my goodness me, that was compelling, ladies and gentlemen.
So for me, the next 14 days, no coffee, of course. No coffee, no Red Bull, nothing. Just amazing race of Chris Overend. And what happened to Lasse Sorensen? Spanish Dynamite, where it is gone.
So
Unbelievable.
surprising. I was like, what's happening now? What's happening now? Everything possible happened. It's so stunning.
And for Dave, it was a bit like, and Mike, it was a bit like commentating a football game.
Yeah.
Because it's happening so much, so quick, so in between 7 laps, and oh gosh. And then, luckily, Chris Overend. I'm really, really happy for this guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course, he totally deserves it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
as you may know, he's a disabled racing driver. So very, very cool seeing him up in front of the other guys there. So yeah, I would say before we head up to quarterfinal 2, let's hear about a guy from RIG who set a very, very strong statement in the beginning of this season. He won the kickoff of this series as a rookie. He won as well in Le Mans. Here is Jiri Toman.
My name is Jiri Toman. I'm an esports driver for RAG Esports. RAG is definitely one of the top esports teams currently, and it's a great privilege to work with some of the most talented drivers there are. I think we all learn from each other a great deal, and yeah, it's a great working with them. I actually joined them back at the end of last year. I was contacted by one of the managers and decided to pursue this opportunity. Currently, I'm driving in Le Mans Virtual. That's at this point the highest championship what I'm doing. But throughout the year, I was involved in V10R and the other top level championships. I got involved in esports racing back in 2011 when I started sim racing. Of course, back then it was just for fun and something to do, but it quickly evolved and became, of course, financially something that made sense to do. Back then I, of course, didn't know that it's going to evolve into what it is now, but it's great to see the progress and the development of the whole scene. About the X0 car, it's a fun car, definitely a lot of power, not much aero, not much grip, so it's fairly tough to master it, but it's challenging, but definitely fun. About the format of the World X, I think I like the format. It's engaging, it's gets more dramatic and intense as the rounds as it progresses towards the final. My hobbies next to sim racing is I did competitive cycling before I came back to pro sim racing, so I still do that, though not as much as, of course, I was doing before when I was doing it competitively. Besides cycling, I sometimes do running, I do hiking. I try to spend as much time as possible outside when I don't have to be behind the cockpit. I actually haven't driven an electric car in the real world yet. I drive a normal petrol car, of course, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But let's see. It's definitely electric cars are fun, instant torque. So something that I wouldn't be opposed to trying.
And here then is our grid for quarterfinal 2. Devin Browner goes from P1 with Risto Capet alongside. Welcome back, Risto. Jiri Toman, who we've just heard from, goes from P3. Then it's Martin Stefanko going from P4 for this esports quarterfinal with Thomas Schmidt starting from P5. Rasmus Busk then going from P6 with Alan Terzic. He goes from P7. Timia Benchik. Welcome, Timia, P8. Then it's Sci-Fi Lee from P9 and Rory McDuff going from P10. The 5 rows of our phenomenal esports drivers then that will be taking part in this wonderful quarter final. We are but 25 seconds away from the start as we go on board with some of our drivers to see how they're feeling inside their rigs. There is Risto Capet then, all smiles, ready to do battle here at this wonderful Indianapolis, the round 8 of our World EX Championship, racing for the climate, of course, where all the drivers have exactly the same equipment. These wonderful EX0 cars. Stand by. The klaxons are on the way. Oh, held for quite some time then as we get quarterfinal 2 underway. Devin Browner then, Jiri Toman, Risto Capet all fighting for those top 3 places, but Devin Browner getting a very good start indeed. Thomas Schmidt looking pretty lively as well. And of course, never rule out the likes of Alan Terzic. He may have dropped back to P9, but there is still some 7 or 6.5 of these laps to come here as our esport drivers battle it out on this quarter final. And again, as we go on board here with Jiri Toman, using the back end of that car to the full effect in terms of getting the draft off the back of the car. But Thomas Schmidt also looking very lively as well. So all of these drivers determined, of course, to make their way through. Top 5 going through, of course, and we stay on board now with that car of Jiri Toman. And 3 in an absolute chain here, Mike. And they do, I know I say it a lot, but they are truly almost welded together to get advantage, aren't they?
They are, but you just could see on board now, if you're on the slipstream, and we heard it from Chris, you lose so much downforce, you kill your front tires. So I'm a bit surprised. I definitely know why Devin Browner is doing it. I mean, he wants to do exactly the same like Chris Over and keep his tires alive in the clean air, and he gets pushed from Jiri Toman, who might kill his tires a little bit too much. So those two have to be really careful not to follow too much. Now he's attacking. Maybe. No, he's not. So, yeah, I mean, so far very clean, but we will see. There will be, I think, halfway through the race now, the battle will start.
I think you're right. I think that's one of the many predictions that you do get right, as Risto Capet then trying his luck, and Devin Browner is, though, just 4 100ths in the lead, and you can see that because you could virtually trade paint between P1 and P2. It is Browner from Capet, from Toman, from Schmidt, from Busch. Let's have a look here as Devin Browner tries to hold on to this P1 position, and as Mike was quite rightly saying there, it can really hurt your tyre deck here.
And we shouldn't forget the host team for this race. I mean, that's new this year. This time is R8G, as we heard about. The host team has the privilege to deliver the setup for everybody. So in this championship, the setup is the same for everybody, but not the same every weekend. The host team, like I said, does it. So what I'm saying is Risto Capet, he knows the car inside out. Ooh, did you see that movement there from Devin Browner? Yeah, big oversteer. Probably Risto took his arrow away there on the rear diffuser. But like I said, I mean, they should really be in a position to win this race with all their knowledge about the setup.
Of course, and that setup is done precisely for them. And there, once again, you can see the oversteer from the Devin Browner car, and Risto Capet is just biding his time here. We're on lap 5 of 7. It's short, sharp, and we love it because the entertainment that it brings us. There is Risto Capet. You can see how hard he is concentrating. He is really pushing, and I mean pushing. Devin Browner, who's doing his level best, as you can see. Devin Browner full of concentration. Oh, Capet takes a look at the inside. A big sideways moment for Jiri Toman, who's running in P3. It could go any way between these top 3 at the moment, and don't lose sight of the fact, as Mike has said, anything can happen, and therefore those drivers running P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they could all still come into this yet. There's still a lot of racing to come as we start lap 6 of 7 now, with Risto Capet leading the way from Devin Browner. Devin Browner from the very off had P1, but Risto Capet, he just bided his time, Mike, and he pounced. Predator is exactly the right word. He pounced when it was right to do so.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's a very different race though. We have the top three and then we have another pack running right there, fighting, to be in the top five. We see a lot of position changes there as well. But it's not like the whole field is packed together like we saw in the round before. And a lot of moments there. Looks like the pushing really makes it hard going into the corners. Honestly, I'm happy to watch it. I mean, if you saw that, it's so hard to control that. Awesome job by the drivers. Awesome job.
I have to say, huge respect to all the drivers. Risto Cabot leading from Devin Browner. We're on board with Devin Browner, who, of course, wants to wrestle away this P1 position back again. Okay, he's going through, even if he stays in P2, but we are on lap 7 of 7 as Devin has to control oversteer like never before. And he does lose out to Jiri Toman. So Jiri Toman then is running in P2. Risto Cabot got P1 at the moment as we all head towards the line then. And this is quarterfinal 2 as the drivers head to the line, as Mike has said. Almost 3 abreast there and right on the line, Mike Rockenfeller. Goodness me, it all changed. Jiri Toman crossed the line P1. Risto Cabot P2. Devin Browner, Thomas Schmidt. Then it was Rory McDuff. My goodness me.
What a finish. I mean, that was massive. But, I mean, they took all the risks. They knew even if they crossed the finish line sideways.
Oh, my God. Exactly. You got to look at the positives, Oh, hello.
That was brilliant.
Who did I wreck there? I'm sorry.
I have my rear end destroyed, right rear destroyed, front right destroyed.
I have my wrist destroyed.
Jiri, then how did you crash? Who was at fault?
I'm not sure. I don't think we were in control.
I think nobody else. I don't even know what happened.
You make Rockenfeller sad.
Oh. I'm so sorry. Oh, that was actually epic, though. I mean, at the end of the day, the result doesn't matter. We were so clear that it was going to be fine. So
I think this should become an oval league.
Oh, you're so right. You're honestly so right.
If we can fix the rear tire overheating, then absolutely.
No, we have to do 15 laps, and whoever can handle it is the winner.
Are you insane? We can't handle 7.
15 laps, you need to have arms like Adonis. Let's try and check in with Jiri Toman. Jiri, many congratulations to you. My goodness me, that looked... Well, you made it look a little bit easier than I'm sure it was. Jiri Toman, you were on that steering wheel the whole time. I mean, what was it like for you to drive it and to win it, Jiri?
Oops. Looks like he's much better with the steering wheel than he is with his IT right there.
He just didn't want to talk to me, Mike. It's got nothing to do with
like, what is he saying? We switch him off. No, but brilliant drive, brilliant race. We heard what they were saying. They actually made also a quote like because I always used to say before the race, guys, please behave, treat it like it would be a real race. And it's going to hurt if you have an incident financially on the budget, but also it can really hurt. So treat it like that. And they were going crazy, and they were just saying they love it. They want to do an own league in oval racing, and they had the same comment last year. So we really have to think maybe not to do more oval racing. I think it's great. They love it. They have a lot of smile on their faces. Awesome.
Do you know my big fear, Mike? I'll just bring you the result. Jiri Toman, of course, taking P1, Risto Cabot P2, and Devin Browner P3. They were the 3 that had kind of broken away from Thomas Schmidt and Rory McDuff. Timmy Benchik P6, Rasmus Busk P7, Martin Stefanko P8, Alan Terzic P9, and Sci-Fi Lee P10. Let me finish what I was saying, Mike, and that is that everyone says that driving on the ovals is a completely different discipline, and I think I'm seeing it for myself tonight. And if I'm honest with you, I've always thought that perhaps oval racing is just a tad boring. How wrong can I be?
Yeah, I would say in our format, it's definitely not boring. It proved it again. But again, I think because we do it only once, it's also so unique. If you do it every other weekend, the racing will be still great, but I think then it gets kind of normal. So I'm very happy we have that special round in Indianapolis.
Yes, and well done to you and to Thomas and everyone for organising, because I think you're right. I think the speciality of it being just a one-off, and if it happened every other event, then I'm sure you're right. It wouldn't be quite as compelling as what we've seen so far today. And we've only seen thus far 2 quarterfinals, semi-final to come, of course. But before then, let's check back in with race control, or the control centre of comms, if you will, as Martin and Louisa.
Well, first of all, I hope that someone taped that "ooh" from Mike.
Yeah.
Second of all, I hope someone taped it. Second of all, it was a much more adult second quarterfinal than the first one, because just what Mike said, the first one was you couldn't follow what was happening over there. And third of all, it reminds me a tiny little bit of these one final finish where the car turned around on the finish line and then moved over the finish line.
Yeah,
that was absolutely crazy and amazing.
Yeah. Here they flew over the finish line.
Yeah.
You don't have that very often as well. So stunning. Just fun to watch. But we don't have to forget, within all these stunning races, we also still have our green mission of sustainability in World EX. So what is the host team doing about the climate crisis? Romain Grosjean will tell us more.
I think the climate message is very important. Sustainability message is very important for all of us. We all have our duties. Obviously, as a race car driver, I'm not doing the best job in the world to protect the planet, but we entertain people in a good way. So on my daily life, I just try to do things a little bit differently. If I can use my bicycle instead of taking my car to go to a meeting, I'll do that. If I can walk or run, do anything just to help the world with my little footprint, I'll do it. I just I think it's in every details. Bring your plastic bag or bring your shopping bag to the shopping center. Don't get plastic bags. That's something in the US that is not yet very developed. So I always try to carry my shopping bag when I go to the shopping center. Just small details like this, but if everyone does those small details, it's gonna be a big difference at the end. So I've been driving electric car in my real life. They're quite nice actually. Very quiet. Very nice. The range is still a bit of an issue, especially in the US with such a big country. The distances are huge, so sometimes you're a little bit blocked. But electric cars are quite fun. They're powerful. They're doing great. But I still think the batteries needs to be improved a little bit for it to be on next cars.
I'm already having to pick myself up off the floor because I'm ready for the semi-final where Jiri Toman will be going from P1. Alongside will be Chris Overend. Then we see Risto Capit going from P3, Henry Drury from P4. Devin Browner going to be a danger man from P5, and Beitske Visser looking very lively tonight, going from P6. Thomas Schmidt is P7, Elliot Veyron is P8, and then the rest of the order that you saw in graphics there for our semi-final then. And the semi-final is about to get underway. What phenomenal racing we have seen already tonight. So don't forget, do check us out on all the social media. It's RCCO World EX, the Mike Rockenfeller fan club. That is a completely different website address, which I will give you. I'll give you a little later before he slaps me. We're just 15 seconds away, Mike. Big grid of cars. This is going to be good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is going to be good. I mean, we saw already great racing, and let's see what they do. Maybe it's a bit more wild. Like I said, I hope they stay on track and deliver great racing.
Good luck to all the drivers. Here we go then. The klaxon sound to get this underway. Semi-final time. We're live from Indianapolis then with Jiri Toman. A very good start. Chris Overend then tucking in behind. Risto Capit and Henry Drury. Two very lively candidates we know. So we get these 7 laps underway. We ride on board with Chris Overend then. And Chris Overend is already under strife from Henry Drury, who's just nicked that P2 position. Henry Drury just going through, and a good move from Veyron as well, who goes from P3 to P2. He went from P4 to P3, then P2. So Jiri Toman is relegated now to P3. So it's now Veyron leading, making the moves very early on. Was that a strategic decision, do you think, Mike?
Well, I think so. I think they, like we said, they are the host team. But I mean, you can have all the strategy in the world. It's unpredictable. Look at it. Look at it. It's unpredictable. I mean, 3 wide, 4 wide. Oh, that was a big one, I think. Oh, he saved it.
And
I can't watch it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I was bigging up Bielska Vissa earlier on, and I've been a huge fan of Bielska for many, many years, and she's leading now from Devin Browner, from Risto Cabot, from Jiri Toman. We've seen more changes in places in the first couple of laps of this semi-final than we have seen in the previous race. That's just how competitive it is. Who was it? Who was it? Was it Thomas Schmidt that collapsed into the wall, I believe?
Drury. Yeah, but I think it was Henry's fault. Unfortunately,
that's Henry.
Sorry for Thomas Schmidt there. He got a lot of hits, I believe, already. Yeah, that wasn't great. But as we see, you know, pressure is on. People are risking more, and that's just natural because they know they have to be up front. They know they have to be the best of their class, the best esports or the best pro. Which right now in the best pro is Bielska Vissa. No, not anymore.
Not anymore. Not. It changes in a heartbeat. Whoa! That was a big backwards moment into the fence there. So it's been a little bit more physical on this time around. Risto Cabot then is chasing down Devin Browner. Now, this is critical for Risto Cabot because if he wants to be the best of the esports drivers, he's got to get by Devin Browner. Best of the pro drivers at the moment is Chris Overend, who's running in P5. We ride on board with Risto Cabot, then doing everything he can to try and find a way past Devin Browner. But of course, what he doesn't want to do is leave himself vulnerable for Devin Browner to come back at him. Strategy plays such a part in these oval races. And this is absolutely brilliant to watch. And here we were on board with Chris Overend, who's leading for the pro races, but Nicholas Hillebrand still in with a shout here. We are on lap 4 of 7. And here we can see that the Rory McDuff car is under threat now, because what that would do if Chris Overend could get by Rory McDuff, it would give him the cushion of an esports racer between himself and the next best pro driver, Nicholas Hillebrand. So that's the plan there. Here is Risto Cabot then.
Yeah, you're right, but I think the real battle is really here up in the front. So thanks to the, to the camera guys to show us the right cars, because when I see the lap time or the gaps, Overend actually has quite a good gap there, and if he's smart, he stays with the guys, follows the slipstream. Hillebrand can't follow because he's not in the slipstream, obviously, but this is the real battle now. This is what we need to watch.
Okay, so this is what we're watching. Risto Cabot then with Devin Browner. Devin Browner, when we saw him, was looking oh so cool. And we ride on board with Devin Browner now, who's got clear tarmac ahead of him. But is that such an advantage? We were talking about tire deg earlier on as we're on lap 6 of 7. Here comes Risto Cabot, the bump drop then, as he makes contact with the Devin Browner car just ahead of him. The gap between the two of them is negligible. It is the width of a cigarette paper. You can see how Devin Browner gets oversteered going into the turns. And Mike brought that up earlier on. It's really, really crucial to be able to control that nicely, because the back end of the car stepping out as you go into the turns. And here we go then as they cross the timing line now. We are going into the last lap. It's now or never for Risto Cabot. Where is he going to make his move? Because inevitably the move is going to be made before the end of this lap. He's not as close as he once was to Devin Browner. Devin Browner, of course, trying his level best to try and break that toe from Risto Cabot. Risto Cabot then talking to himself as he's controlling this car. And now here it comes. And we stay on board with Risto Cabot, because for sure he is going to have a go here. Both of the cars slide through the turn. Super sideways action at ridiculous speeds. But Devin Browner, he looks to have this as much under control as he can have it under control. Oh, look at this to the line.
Who's going to make it?
It's going to be a photo between the two of them. I think it was just Devin Browner ahead of Risto Cabot. That has got to be thousandths of seconds between the two
top
of them.
4 at esports, Vince, Chris, then me. Hell yeah!
Wow.
Okay, this is an absolute win.
Wow.
I commit.
Look, he's shaking. He's shaking.
No, it was fun though, Risto. Thanks.
No, losing is never
there is Chris Overend.
That was
of the
fun
pro drivers.
Okay, true.
Oh, dear God. I mean, it worked in the first race, so I would have gone for the same. I actually wanted to do the same thing, but you didn't overtake.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we both hit the wall somehow, and then
Yeah. I messed up from the start already because for some reason the torque split is quite far to the front. I had front wheel burnout.
yes. 44, I think.
Try and, let me try and check in with Devin Browner first of all. Devin, I have to say, you've always got a smile on your face when you're driving. Today, the smile was a little less enigmatic until it came to that final timing line and you crossed it. Brilliant drive, Devin.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that was probably the most stressful drive of all time because it's basically the car was just sideways down the whole straight, the whole race. I just got sketchier and sketchier, and I had no idea whether we were going to make the next turn every single time we turned in. But yeah, it was great fun.
I have to say, just watching you with the car power sliding into every turn, and as you say, the back end of the car, it was just you at those speeds having to use opposite lock to control that car. I take my hat off to you as well. What driving.
Thank you.
And well done to Devin Browner. And Chris Overend, I have to say, what a night it's becoming for WRT, isn't it?
Yeah, good, yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe that. I was seeing the two cars go up ahead. I was thinking, oh, no, I'm not going to get there. And then, yeah, when we got over the finish line, yeah, I can't believe that. It's amazing.
I was in
going to be a spicy final, Devin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Double crash, come on.
No.
Did you see the cat?
No.
Yes, you see the cat?
Yes, I did. Yes, just behind Chris there. Brilliant stuff. And Chris, come on, name check the cat alongside you, please.
Oh, this is Evie.
Evie.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
She'll come and sit on my lap when I'm driving sometimes.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, well, very well done to you, Mike, again. I mean, I don't know quite how to contain my excitement because it's been spellbinding so far this evening.
Yeah, it has been. I was actually a bit surprised by the tactics there. I thought that Devin cannot hold the position at the end. He made it happen, as we have seen a few times this year from him. He's very special on this car. But what a great race, and I'm so happy for Chris. Hopefully he has a chance now against his teammate. And anyway, to be in the final, I think, is already very unique.
Indeed so. Here is confirmation of the result of the semi-final. Devin Browner then for eSports Team WRT P1 ahead of Risto Capet, Jiri Terman and Rory McDuff. And of course, critically for the pro drivers, even though it was P5, it's eSports Team WRT once again that will be going through with Chris Overend. So absolutely fantastic stuff ahead of Nicholas Hillebrand. I have to say, you've got to be so brave around circuits like Indianapolis to make it work. And we have seen just how these drivers do make it work. Mike, what does it do to you as a driver when you're going into a turn like that and the back end of the car is just... you've got to be so precise at being able to control that. And you've also got to have very big things between your legs, I would suggest.
Well, I think in reality, I never did an oval, let's say sideways or in a car where it's super tricky. I mean, when I do Daytona, it's flat out, even in the wet, with downforce and different speed and more banking. Never done Indianapolis in real, but I tell you, in here, it's super fun. And like you said, it's so difficult because you get touched all the time. There's always somebody, trying, to push you, but it's also upsetting the car. It really makes it light. So, like I said, I'm happy to watch, and I'm sure some of them are quite sweated, even though it's short races.
Yeah, but that's in fairness and the whole design of this wonderful series where, of course, we are racing for the climate. There is a serious message behind everything we do. But I know from your point of view, you have always wanted the racing to be entertaining and great fun for the drivers, as well as, of course, for the viewers that are watching it. And tonight is just exemplified exactly what you've designed.
Yeah, I think that's super important. As a driver, you want to have fun. You want to enjoy racing. That's why we all love it. That's why we do it in real life, in the virtual world. And I think you can only transport it to the fans, and they will only understand it if it's really happening, right? I mean, you are the best in maybe talking a boring race, very exciting. But we prefer we deliver you this exciting product, and you can make it even better, you know, with your voice and with your talking and your expertise. But I'm not joking. I think that is crucial. And tonight was a good example.
So first gear, just cruise around at 60 for the whole 2 laps.
Pit limit race easier.
just drink it in, mate.
We could try beating the lap record and just like race it out the final lap. I'm not sure how many laps we have.
We have 2 laps.
Exactly. 2.
All right.
I just made the best man win, dude.
Elise, it might be.
Let's go back to the studio. I love listening to the driver's mic, but let's go back to Louisa and Martin, who I know are having as much fun as Mike and myself and all
Did you ever done 385 kilometers with a race car? And second of all, which tactic? Were there a tactic? Because it was so critical the whole race, and I didn't notice any tactic, but it was amazing. An amazing semifinal, absolutely.
Yeah, and now we have a finish. We never had it before. A fully WRT finish, final. Yeah. It's amazing. Fingers crossed for both of them, especially Chris, because it's his first time in the final.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that. It's going to be stunning.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
believe.
I'm really, really looking forward to that final. First of all, yeah. The final.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Well, Mike, if it's been super fast tonight already, it's going to go like a flash. Some greased lightning around this track because just 2 laps, Mike.
Yes, and of course, as it is the case that we have teammates on the grid, I would say I hope they just enjoy. I hope we will see still a great battle. I hope Chris is not handing it to David and the other way around. And let's see what happens. 2 laps, it's very fast. There won't be too much tactics this time. It will be all or nothing.
It is the RCCO World EX Championship. We're live from Indianapolis for round 8, and we are about to start our final. It is a WRT head-to-head then. Devin Browner and Chris Overend side by side going into turn number 1. Chris Overend slotting in behind Devin Browner initially. And let's see how the drivers do then. Just 2 laps to prove it then. Devin Browner with a very, very good start. Chris Overend is a couple of tenths behind, but he's soon going to bring it back to Devin Browner. I don't think anyone is going to give anybody anything in this 2-lap final as Chris Overend then just gets his nose in front. And they're brilliant competitors, both of them. And Chris Overend goes through. He picks up the lead. Devin Browner now is going to chase back. And, of course, with just 2 laps here, Chris Overend has got to try and protect that because here comes Devin Browner. There's the bump. Here comes the draft then as Devin Browner tries to get every little bit of advantage he can from the back end of Chris Overend's car. Then we are on already lap 2 of 2 here at Indianapolis. This is round 8 then of the RCCO World EX Championship for 2022. What a season we are having. And these 2 drivers absolutely battling it out as Browner and Overend side by side, and Browner goes with his nose just in front now. It's all going to be on this final corner then. Who is it going to be as they run towards the final sequence of turns? Sequence is not the word to use, of course. It's an oval as we head towards the line then. Devin Browner and Chris Overend absolutely side by side, a track race to the timing line. Who is going to take it? I think it is just Devin Browner. Mike,
you got it there,
I owe you an apology. I didn't get a word in.
Yeah, it says I'm first, so probably.
Yeah. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. Congrats for the final. That was actually amazing. I think you would have had me, but for some reason you didn't get enough of a slingshot at the end.
No, I pulled out just like a fraction too early, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well done, mate.
That was great, though. Oh, a good photo finish, anyway.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'll see some donuts.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, you can't really do that. Oh, wait. How do you donuts? The setup.
Oh, no, you can't do donuts on this.
Oh, I managed.
Go on, Devin. Keep entertaining. That's what we like to see. That is a proper donut, my goodness me. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And Chris Overend joining in the fun as well. It's what it's all about here, entertaining, and the onboard camera. Well, it gave us a terrific vantage point of Devin Browner mucking about then, having been victorious. Devin, I'm going to try and check in with you. You were very, very great, both of you. But as you said, if Chris had just pulled out, perhaps if there'd been a milliseconds difference, it could have gone a completely different way. But you are the winner. Congratulations, Devin.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't blame him for pulling out too early because essentially we practiced this exact thing yesterday and I was in the back and I absolutely crashed it. So, yeah, I would have actually expected a similar effect. So I'm glad he actually made it and we had a photo finish. But I saw the time trickle down the gap and it was like at 100 at the end. And I was like, please be over, please be over. And then it was over. That was a race. That was something.
Absolutely.
I wonder what the actual end gap was.
It was in the thousands, I'm sure, Chris. Absolutely got to be in the thousands. But fantastic, of course, for WRT. And ironically, I was in conversation on email with Frederick, one of the team bosses at WRT, just earlier on today. So extraordinary stuff. And you two guys have really, really dominated tonight's proceedings. It was, from our point of view, one of the most entertaining races to watch. Was it as entertaining for you guys to drive it, you, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. I've had a smile on my face more so than any other night. And I think when we started going into practice and just the laughter that everyone was, it's just constant laughter. Yeah, no, this is amazing. Such an exciting thing to do as well. Yeah, brilliant.
Well done. Well done, Chris. Really, really, you've treated us all so well tonight with brilliant racing, and well done, Chris Overend, of course.
Thank you.
Racing there in the final with Devin Browner, and it was Devin Browner that was victorious in the Indy EX Prix. As you can see, what a great shot that is. The confirmed race result then, Devin Browner taking the win for eSports Team WRT, very closely followed by Chris Overend, taking P2. Then it was Risto Capet for ACER Vero R8G with Jiri Toman, another 2 in a row then for ACER Vero R8G, P3 and P4, Rory McDuff, Nicholas Hillebrand, Elliot Veyron, Thomas Schmidt, Beitske Visa, and Henry Drury, then rounding out the top 10, if you will, in terms of our race result for this Indy EX Prix. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Thoroughly entertaining and great fun, Mike. And I have to say, I don't wear a hat because I need to protect my hairstyle. But I would take my hat off to all the drivers because I think healthy respect between them all and great fun from all the drivers as well because they need to enjoy it as well.
Yes, I think I didn't say a word from the start of the final until now.
Sorry.
And
I'm
I was
sorry.
just enjoying. No, I was just enjoying what I saw and what I heard. And I thought it was way better to stay quiet there. So yeah, congrats to all of them tonight because everybody did a great job. Not only, the two, let's say, making it to the final, giving us a photo finish, which we really have to check because maybe the transponder was mounted a bit different on the car. So who knows, if there's a protest coming or not. But jokes aside, I mean, what a great finish between the two teammates. And like Chris said, all the drivers enjoyed it. I think that's what we like. And I enjoyed it, certainly. I hope you did as well.
Yeah, very much so. Mike, as always, grateful for you being there and supporting this old haggard friend here. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I know that Martin and Louisa have too. And let's go back to them right now.
We did. We have.
I need some air.
Yeah, me too.
that was really incredible. And just what Dave and Mike said, it was absolutely an incredible race evening. I started really fully commentating these races in this season, but I never had that before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was absolutely amazing. And I'm really looking forward to the final later on. But first of all, we have to take a look on the leader of the World EX Championship.
Yeah, it's still Walter, followed by Danish Dynamite and Vero 88. P4 Zebralin, followed by Zebra Kira. So the BS Plus competition next to each other. Then Vero 8, Williams Esports, Huangje, Sentis, and Stögo. So both Nyanko still in the top 10. Very cool. And yeah, we have a new car in the super final. very great. So Chris Overend, also in the super final on the 20th of December on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Very excited about that.
And think about it. We talked about it earlier this day. Will there be another car? Could there be another car? Could there be another driver in the final now at the Nordschleife?
And still next round, there also could be another driver in the super final.
Yes,
could be made up
right,
next round too.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
the really strong one in this season is Mr. Browne, Devin, and I really enjoyed it when we met each other on the summit, World EX Summit. Devin, I just asked it earlier this evening. It looks like that this year is your year, isn't it?
Expecting to get knocked out of the quarterfinals.
Chat with Chris Overend, his teammate.
Oh no,
Mr. Brown.
Well, here you are. I mean, it's a class win, so it's still a
Devin,
win, right?
Could you hear me? Could you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, you can. Sorry. I just said it before. I'd asked you earlier this evening. Is this the year of Devin Browne?
Apparently it is, yes.
It is unbelievable. Yeah, but you can use the car extremely well on every kind of a racetrack. Was this absolutely the best one for this season so far? Will it be better than the Nordschleife?
For us as a team, absolutely it was the best thing. Nordschleife is going to be a really tricky one. We'll see how that turns out. I have absolutely no idea. I can't predict anything. But I think what made the difference is that we both have a lot of car control, and so with like all the other top guys, at the end of the day, it's all about managing where you are, right? And we both did, and so did the other 2 or 3 guys who were fighting for the win.
It's absolutely amazing.
So, yeah.
I'd never noticed that the drivers really love that kind of an oval racetrack much more. It looks like that you love it much more than any other racetrack. What is for you? Personally, for Devin Browne, the one and only racetrack system, normal racetrack or this kind?
I mean, it actually depends a lot on the car and the type of racing you do. For this type of racing, like sprint racing, really high-powered, speedy car with a lot of draft, absolutely oval. There's no doubt.
Okay, so then we have to talk about with all the sponsors of the race series that we're gonna send you to America to try a real oval racing.
That would be insane. I'm not gonna try to hit 420 there.
But it was absolutely amazing. I made a lot of fun this evening. I'd never had that much fun in a race of the World EX Series. Thank you very much, Devin Browne, the winner of the Indy race at the World EX this evening here on the screen. Thank you, Devin.
Thanks.
Well, that was. I really had problems with the air. I really needed some air just to make sure that I'm not falling down here, because it was unbelievable. I'd never had that kind of racing. But again, the second quarterfinal was a bit more adult, a bit more
a bit more
organized racing.
Yeah. You're
organized
right.
racing.
But you're right. It was action packed.
Yeah.
I think we always say, "Oh, this race was so stunning," but it's really every time there's something new, there's something special, there's something breathtaking, and it's just insane. It's just World EX is just fully electric power and speed.
And I'm really happy, just what Devin said, that the team worked together.
Yes.
And that he tiny little bit helped Chris to come into the part of the drivers who can be able to race at the last race of the season. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really happy for Chris Overend.
Yes,
and
me too.
Probably Ivy was a lucky joker, I promise you.
Yeah, it could be.
Probably. The next time when Chris is racing, he has to have his cap behind him.
Yeah. He totally deserves it. Totally deserves it to be in the super final.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The next round, the final round on the Nürburgring, will happen on the 20th of December. right before Christmas would be a cool Christmas gift to the winner, I think, to win the championship. So all cards are open, I think. It's not set yet who will win this championship.
And just what Devin said, it is really unpredictable.
Yes.
Because the track is so difficult.
Yeah.
And bit longer than that one, which we had today. But on the other hand, it is so much different to this one today. And I'm really, really looking forward to that last round at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. And I guess guys like Chris Overend probably will be one of the top guys at the track.
Definitely somebody to watch, to have his eyes on.
Absolutely.
So, a few weeks left to the final round. How time flies, right? Stay tuned on our social media channels. We will keep you up to date there. And yeah, this was it. The Indianapolis EX Prix of
the
World
Prix
EX.
Christmas gift on the 20th of December.
Yes.
Brilliant, I guess. Have a nice week, and don't forget the gifts for everybody you love. See you there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.